how do I know what to charge for my work? And is there a difference between my work's artistic value versus its market value? If you're actually
Good.
trying to make money with your art.
Right. This is good. Hunter, I think we talked about this once, right? Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I'm trying to remember what prompted that.
I think we're talking about web design and like how much do you charge when you're starting and all of that.
Right. We went through when you start out, you don't have to do it for free, but you'll probably be doing it for, lower than you're going to end up doing it. And it was not being afraid to charge more. That was the big part of it. Like, just because you've been doing it for $300 for a while doesn't mean your work isn't worth, $700 to $1,000 later on.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
And it can be really scary to ask for money.
Well, first of all, like you need to look at industry standards. You can't just be like, it's $100 per hour if you don't know what the standard is, or it's different too. Like a writer might charge per project or something, but I know I mostly charge for like web design work on my end and our marketing team's work. So we have an hourly rate basically, and actually two different hourly rates. One of the rates is for people that are only working with us one time, and then one of the rates is for someone who is a consistent client. And how I actually build project rates and fees is I look at the project and I say, okay, this is going to take 10 hours, but I'm going to give us another 5 hours of a grace period because I feel like work always takes a little bit longer than you expect. Just buffering, and then I take the rate, if it's a recurring client, I take that rate and I multiply it by the hours I presume the project will be. Now, legitimately in web design life, that's not enough for a web design project. So if it's like a really big website that we can really get done in 10 hours, I'm going to charge the standard rate. But we also have experience. When I first started in web design, I charged, like Hunter said, I think I started at $500 a site. And that was cheap. I was spending a lot of work for that $500. But I was also a lot younger, and $500 was what I needed in that time. And then I realized, wow, like my websites are really worth like $3,000, $4,000, so I started going up from there. But yeah, I think it's important to not be afraid to ask for more. That's one thing I would give as someone's eternal wisdom. Like just say, which I learned from George Temple, who started Helps too, is that if somebody is cheap and they don't want to pay you, it's not somebody that you want to work with anyway. So let them go. Like you want to work with people that respect you and you respect them, and you want to have good working relationships. Like you would never want someone who's flaky and cheap to be your best friend or your friend at all. So why work with people like that? You got to have that kind of faith in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if I'm really good at this, there's going to be other people that want to work with me. This is not my only opportunity. How about you, Matt? How do you go about it?
Or Steven, I would say pretty much similar to what you've all said, but just gotta see what the fair market value is, and if you're comfortable with that, then stick around there. And the worst they'll say is no. So would you rather be the really cheap guy and you're working on that, and then you miss out on a project that you could have had a week or two later that you don't have time for because you're working on the cheaper client? And like we've been saying, how usually that person tends to be the harder one to work with because they value their money more than they value your services. So I think if you have a pretty reasonable price, not insanely expensive, and you're right around everyone else, you'll be doing just fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really want to re-emphasize what you said, Gabrielle, is I'd say don't ever sell yourself short. It's not worth giving people discounts, it's better not to work with somebody than to, give them a discount. I'd have to say, as a freelancer, the biggest damage I've done to my business has been giving certain people discounts or giving them pro bono work. And then, then people keep coming back to me and said, we'll say, well, you gave this person that price. And I've even written up contracts saying, don't tell, you're not allowed to tell people, how much I charged for this. but they'll say anyway, and that people, you give one person discount, they're all going to expect it. And another thing is, when you're talking about market value on something, when you're working creatively, a lot of that is just really ambiguous, and you have to go with your gut. The biggest example I give is the guy who did the Coca-Cola logo got paid less than $15. But the Coca-Cola Corporation, it's, the biggest logo, one of them, and they've made billions and billions of dollars on it. If I do a logo for a company, I talk to them a very long time, what their plans are, how big they're looking to get, what they're, how far they're looking to reach. If it's a local hairdresser, I'm going to charge them huge difference between if they're a broadcast network. I've done logos for small businesses, and I've done logos for major corporations. And a lot of it, I'll base on how much money are they going to make off of this logo. So you kind of have to, that you have to go with your gut. But that's where I think, market value and artistic merit are one, that your art is helping, a company go further. And, a lot of times I think it's the same thing, your market value and your artistic value.
Yeah, that's real.
So that helps.
I agree with that. And, to be honest, at the end of the day, I ask myself, like when I quote someone for a web design project, I say, do I feel valuable with them paying me that amount? And oftentimes it's no. And I have like this little ounce of bitterness in my heart towards that project. And so I actually raise the price until I don't feel that bitterness anymore, till I have that excitement about doing it. And sometimes that makes me a little uncomfortable because, I just added $500 to a price. But that resignation, or that resonance, I guess that resonance is the word. Yeah, resonance with my heart in that moment, being able to say, oh yeah, I feel good working for that price versus I feel a little bitter and undercut and non-valued working for that price is really kind of an indicator to me of my work's quality and my experience in the game. You know what I mean? It's one thing to join the game and like you're so, but when you've been in, your industry or doing what you're doing for 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, 35 years, that's a different ball game. You're going to feel resentful towards a price that's undercutting your market value, or, you might even be way above market value. So just a little tip in that sense too.
Yeah. That's the thing, that if, it's one thing for a prospective client to want the breakdown of a price of something you give them. But if they ask you to justify the costs, like, why should I be paying this when I could go to this company and they'll only charge me this? To me, that's the first time that you may not want this client, or it's going to be difficult working with that client.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like you're the secret sauce to your work. Like when you get, a website by Gabby or a song by me, it's different because I'm doing it. And if you can't see that, I don't want to work with you anyways,
Yeah.
I guess at least the first part of the question, what to charge for your work, it's kind of been said, but, base it on at least what the average industry standard is. You need to know your industry. And I've learned that with writing books, freelance writing my own books, and self-publishing fiction is one thing. So you just, I look on Amazon and see what Kindle books in my genre and similar to that length are being sold for. Some are free at 99 cents and some are, $25, but those are the extremes. So find the average and the biggest sellers in my industry, in my genre, and price it thereabouts. A little bit cheaper, maybe okay, but not too much cheaper. Maybe a little bit more. But yeah, know the industry standards, I think, would apply to almost anything is a good answer to at least the first part of it. Even if you decide to charge less at first because you're a beginner level or you don't have a good portfolio yet or something, or a lot of experience, you should at least know what the industry averages are in whatever your industry is, so that so you kind of know what to shoot for as you gather more work into your experience and your portfolio or whatever.
That's good. Cool. Do you guys have anything else to say? Or crickets?
I'm all set.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. Go ahead. Sorry, Steven.
I said Happy Taco Tuesday.
Amen. There's a place around here that does 99-cent tacos, so it's like really cool. Kansas City, who knew? All right, guys. Well, have a good Tuesday. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye, guys.
Likewise.
Make sure you subscribe. We here at Help Sue, we love doing videos, and we have some great things coming at you. We have things for writers, musicians, business owners, anybody who really has a project and a heart to reach people. We want to help them do it. So if you are a creative or business owner, we got tons for you.